Hello my friends, Jonah Schwickert here and welcome to part 2 of my Boogie Woogie Swanee River Boogie for Beginners course on YouTube here. A free course for a very basic version that you can learn as a beginner and you will play if you work with me through all of these courses. Okay, so this time we're going to look at super exciting stuff. First of all, the next 16 bars of the melody. We're looking then at a break and a run. Very, very, very famous Swanee River type of break and run. And then we're going to look at the solo. We're going to take that apart. We're going to learn riff by riff. I'm going to teach you how to put them together. And we're going to look at the first half of the solo. Okay? And then in the third final one, we look at the rest of the solo, an improvisation part, and the ending. So you can be very excited for that. And I promise you, you can learn this. Especially the solo might feel hard at first, but promise you, if you're a beginner eager to learn Boogie Woogie, you will learn this if you stick with me and you just do exactly as I said, what I say here, okay? And if you don't know who I am, my name is Jonah Schwickert. I help people any age learn Boogie Woogie piano. Teacher, I've been a teacher for 10 years and now I do specialize in teaching Boogie Woogie and blues and rock and roll. And we're gonna jump right into it now, okay? So we're starting with the second part of the melody. I'm just gonna recap, not everything, but just the first part of the melody we looked at. Okay, so we looked at this little section here. We played 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And there you would do a fill in. One, you would go back into the melody, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that's what we covered. That's the first 16 bars of the melody, right? Now we're gonna go into the next part, okay? So we're gonna dive into it. We're gonna start just quickly the left hand here. So if you remember, this is now the third section of the progression, okay? You go straight to G, okay? Then you would go to C, then you would go to F, and then you would go back to G, and this is where the break comes in for 2 bars. We're gonna just cover that section, so that's 8 bars again here. Gonna look at these first. So in the right hand, we have a little upbeat from the bar before. So when we're ending the melody, and then we would land on that G, right? Yeah. I had to do a quick rethinking, because usually I played in octaves. So you got to get that G in there. You're going to grab it from down here, okay? So this G, going on to C, then onto D, then onto C back again, and then onto B. Okay? Nice. Alright, so that's it. And this B will be the 1 of the G, so the bar number 16, okay? That'll be the 1, meaning comes before that. So when you're still on the previous section, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so the 8th notes, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, little pause, and then on the 1, and now you're in the new section. So we're gonna just look at that part here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 that's next section. So far we got and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and then that's C at the end on the 4, or you can also do it on the 3 and or maybe even a little earlier, but let's stick with 4 again. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 yeah. So now I played it on the 3. You can choose the 3 or the 4. Now after that and 4 and you play the C again on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then on the F. So you're gonna do 5th finger on the C and 2 and 3 and go down onto A and then onto the F and then onto A again and then on the G, and that will be the break here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 for 2 bars. And this is where we're gonna look at a little run to add into that break. So again, we're gonna go like this. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 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 3 and 4 and then you're gonna switch fingers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, sorry, and 4 and 1 and then on that G, right? So do, 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 do. Okay, so that is that. That's 8 bars here again. Now we're gonna just look at how that adds up. Okay, we're gonna play until the break. So left, you're starting on the 1 on the G. So let's do that transition as well. So we're doing 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now you have these 4 and 1s and 4 and 1 and 2. Like to see. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now you go on to F. Switch finger. It's going to be a little hard because you're switching 2 positions. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I accidentally hit the G. Don't do that. Let's do that one more time just from the F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F and then back to A and then the G. This is the break. Okay, so let's do that one more time. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 Now that's that. So fantastic work so far. That's already very super good. Now we're just gonna look at the break part, and I'm gonna introduce you to a run that you can already play because you've worked through the first lesson with me. And the good thing is that the run is the same as in the intro that we're gonna use, just to keep it nice and easy but sound super. So it's this one. Let me just play it for you. this one, and then you can choose the tempo that's best for you for this run. So let's just look at it. So after the break, you're gonna go 1, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and that's how you count 1, and 2, and then each beat, so the wah, hon, these are 2. So wah is 1, and then hon is 2. It's pretty fast, but this run is actually easy. So you just gotta practice this run. It's not a hard run because you're just repeating the same 3 fingerings and notes. You just have 2 positions, right? So 1 and 2, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right? So yeah, but the run doesn't start on 1, so it's not 1, because remember the 1 is down here on the break, so you gotta time that. So if we're playing, let's go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then you go back into the bass line on C. So you're playing on the 2 for the run, and you're starting on this E flat. It's the same run you did in the intro. In the intro you just did it to here, and now you're just gonna do it all the way down to here. And then you're gonna end the run on the E, because that's the melody note that we want to lead into. Okay, so 1 and 2, sorry, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It sounds so ridiculous, but yeah, that's the run, and you should count it like that. So let's just do that very slow one time, okay, with the right timing. So I'm gonna do the break. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then use the third finger down here. And by the way, move your body a bit down. You don't have to like stay centered and have your arms like this, okay? So do move your body down here, and then you go 1. And then you would go into the rest of the melody that we're gonna look at now. And the run, by the way, is the break is for 2 bars. I mentioned that. And inside that break, you're playing that run for 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3. And then you would go back into the melody. Same one that we looked at, but it's the second part. Okay, so basically, yeah, after the run, you've completed the 32 bars after you finish out with the melody. Right? And break, dun, 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 dun. And then after that, after the run, right, you go into the second melody part. So the second part we looked at from the melody. Let's just look at that transition. So looking at here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Same thing. 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and then on G. To the solo, but yeah, that's that part. So what we covered right now is all 32 bars, so the last 16 bars. we're gonna just recap, play everything in context, and then just practice putting that all together. So we started with right? 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now you're on that down the F 2 and 3 and now the break 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 Nice. That's that, guys. Fantastic work. That's super good. You're doing really good. So that is the whole melody of Swanee River, the whole 32 bars. And this is where you now would go into the intro. Sorry, the solo. After those 32 bars. Okay. So we're gonna look at that as well. I'm gonna dive right into it. I have to see if I'm doing all of the solo or maybe just the half of it. It depends, yeah, how long it will take. But let's look at the solo part. So we're gonna stick to the right hand here. Now the solo part, of course, is gonna be a bit more challenging for you, but I'm gonna try to make it as easy as possible for the level that you're at. Okay, and of course this is much easier for me to do if you're in Boogie Woogie Mastery, because then I can just make courses for each student kind of individually and then send it to them. So if that's something that you're interested in, then check that out. First link in the description, right? For Boogie Woogie Mastery to get additional help. But we're gonna go with it, okay? So before you go into the solo, you have a little thing. It's very classic Swanee River. Okay, so we're gonna look at that. You're going to play this. So you're doing the first finger, second finger, fifth finger. Then you're doing an octave, D, G, and D. D, G, and D. Yeah, I said it right. And then you're doing C octave, also with G in the middle. So you're doing this chord here, E, G, and C. Then you're switching onto just moving your fifth finger and your first finger onto the D's, both of the D's, right? So and then you're moving your octave one more down onto this C octave with the same note in between. So and the last one should be staccato, so very short. All right. Then you have a little riff here, and this riff goes like this. Go G down, and then you're going up in thirds. These are eighth notes, so they're kind of fast. So you're gonna play the G with your first finger, then the second and fourth finger for everything else. So you have C and E, you're moving up one, D and F, up one more, chromatically, E flat and F sharp, and then E and G. You can also grab this E and G with the third and fifth finger, if that's easier for you. right? Maybe I even recommend it now that I think about it. So you use 2 and 4 for C and E, D and F, 2 and 4 as well, E flat and F sharp, 2 and 4, and then you switch from that 2 and 4 onto 3 and 5. Okay, so that's the riff here. And we're just adding that little G note before it, and then we're playing it. And then you're gonna go wait for a few beats, and then you play the same thing again, but without the G. So the full thing is like this. Ba-da-ba-da-ba, da-da-da-da. That's the riff. And the fingering here, by the way, if you're doing the 3rd and 5th, after coming from that G, you're gonna wait, and then you don't have to like go back down with the 2nd and 4th finger here. You can just stick to the fingers that are already here. So that's the 1st and 3rd, and then the 2nd and 4th, and then the 2nd and 4th again, and then the 3rd and 5th, right? So ba, 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 ba. And now you can just repeat this shape here a bit. Do this with me, just to ingrain that. Ingrain this riff. Repetition is the mother of all skill, how they say. Okay, so just repeat this with the fingering I'm using. So 1 and 3 for the C and E, and 2 and 4, D and F, E flat, F sharp, 2 and 4, and E and G, 3 and 5. Okay? And then you're gonna combine both. So with the G, this fingering, and then the other fingering. And with counting, it sounds like this. So 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And so on the 1, you go into the new repetition. And that's the first riff. Nice job. Great job. That's the first riff. One of the harder ones of this solo. But let's keep going. Then you have a nice little riff. Looks like this. Okay. So what are we doing here? We have the thumb. Then we have the 3rd and 5th finger. 3rd finger on G, 5th finger on the C. Right? And then you're doing a little jump up to the A and D with the 3rd and 5th finger as well. Just like this. You can repeat this here. This is the hardest part of the riff. Ba, ba, da, da. And the rhythm is 8th notes. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, right? So just repeat this with me here. Got C, then G and C, A and D, G and C. Always staying with 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Nice. Once you've repeated that a bit in this steady tempo, add a little swing rhythm. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. Okay? This is kind of what we call a repeat shape. It's a type of riff that you just repeat over and over, and it doesn't change. Because riffs in and of itself usually change, but this repeat shape there doesn't, okay? So now let's combine that. Remember, we're just fusing these things on top of each other. That's how I teach improvisation over in Boogie Woogie Mastery as well, right? Just learning these blocks and using my block system to layer them on top of each other to then create structure in your mind so that you can improvise pretty easily, pretty fast inside Boogie Woogie Mastery, right? So this is one block. That's one block, right? So if you're a Boogie Mastery student, you're gonna understand this. That's why I'm telling you that. So, right, you have that. That's one block. Then the next block is this repeat shape. Okay? So just combine these. And you're doing this 4 times. That's 4. So, 3 and 1, 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and so that's an upbeat, and this as well, and 4 and 1, so that'll be the 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Nice. That's that. I just hinted at what we're looking at next, because next we have a little trill. This is what we call a trill, okay? But first of all, great job on that. That is 2 riffs already down of Swanee River solo, and you know, this is the hardest part of the whole course here, because it's a solo, you know, you want it sounding great, and you can learn these riffs. These are not expert level riffs, right? So everything we've covered is going to lead you into that pretty nicely, with the run as well that you're learning. And all of these riffs, when you invest the time here, you know, into this course, learning this song you love, it's going to be so well invested, because everything you're learning, you're going to apply for your other learning endeavors, like your other songs of Boogie Woogie, and also improvisation of Boogie Woogie. Because these riffs, of course, once you practice them here in the context of the song, are going to be accompanying you for the whole rest of your Boogie Woogie learning journey. You can always use them when you're learning to improvise and learning other songs and listening to other people. Once you learn to play by ear and all that, you're going to recognize them. So yeah, this is like, again, killing 2 flies with 1 stone. That's the saying. 2 flies with 1 stone. Yeah, if you're learning these riffs and really taking the time to rewind the videos and just practice with me, and just keep watching the videos here, slow down the videos a little as well, and yeah, just take your time to learn these riffs solidly. But now we're gonna go into the third riff, okay? So the third riff is a trill, and trills are just 2 notes very quickly played in succession. And to classify this as a trill, it can't be a larger than a minor third. So that's the maximum distance of intervals that you can play for it to be classified as a trill. You know, this is also a trill, or this, also a trill, right? That's not one, but yeah, this is a trill. So this effect, right, in Boogie Woogie, you've probably heard this. Also in blues, it's very often used. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. If you don't know how to play trills, like the technique is too hard, you know, I teach this in Boogie Woogie Mastery often, but I would just suggest to keep at it and play very slow these trills, and rotate your entire hand and not just your fingers, right? Try to rotate your entire hand to take that velocity of your hand and your arm's weight, okay? So what we're doing is D, E flat, E, as a little upbeat, as a little slide into the trill, okay? Just like that. Okay, so first finger, second finger, and then second finger again, and that's where you would start trilling. Okay? Don't do this too long, your hand is gonna get tired. Even mine is. It's not such an easy technique, but it's definitely doable for you, okay? And you can also slow down the whole trill let's go with the trill. And that's the third riff. Nice, great job. So that's the 3 riffs, just to recap. So we had, sorry. And then you would go into the trill like that. So 4 times, 2, 3, 4, and then go into the trill. You can also do a 5th. I think I did that earlier, but stick to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright? Nice. Fantastic job. We're gonna keep going here. Look at the rest of the solo as well. So the next riff, that's already 3 riffs down the hatch. Let's go. Nice job. And we keep going. Hope you're still fit. And let's dive into it. So the next riff that we're gonna get into here is going to be a little run downwards. Alright. So let's go to the right hand here, and what we're gonna be doing is, after this little trill that we looked at, right? We're gonna go on the 5th finger up here, and we're gonna play 8th notes. So 5th finger on A, 3rd on E flat, and then 3rd on E, 2nd on C, 1st on G. That's the first part of that little riff. Okay, so you kind of, I'm just gonna play it for you one time. Okay. So let's go into that again. You got the trill, then you go A, E flat, E, C, G, F with the 2nd finger, so you're gonna grab over D, E flat, E, end on C. So that's a lot of notes. It's a little run down. One more time. Gonna do the trill, stop the trill, go into the new riff. So the new block. Right? C, G. So just practice with that video running, right? Just rewind that section over and over until you got that. Okay? And use the fingering that I used. So 5th, 3rd, 3rd again, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, 1st, 2nd, and then here important, 2nd and 2nd again. So you're kind of just sliding down. And then we have one little extension at the end here. We're going to do something that's called a roll. If you don't know about rolls, you can learn more about them in depth in my other videos or in Boogie Woogie Mastery. So the rolls, they're basically just very fast notes played one after another, right? This is a roll. And you kind of want to have each note be part of the note that you're actually landing on, right? So it's not like you're playing these individually very fast. It's more like in one oomph. You're gonna roll all these notes right onto the target key, which in this case is the D. Right? Then E flat, E, and then C again. Right? So you're coming from up here. And just adding that after it, okay? So you're gonna do 4 on A, 3 on G, 2 on F, 1st on D, then 3rd on E flat, second on E flat and second on E again, and then end with that C. Right? So just practice that little section. And try to really get the roll in one motion. We don't want to hear the individual keys, just the effect of the roll. That little right? That's what we want. Okay, so in context. And 3 and 4 and. Okay, that's that riff, guys. That's the next riff. So that is 4 riffs already crossed off. Fantastic work so far. We're gonna keep going. Okay, so let's just recap really quick. So far we've got this. So we're starting with four times, little break, so just practice and rehearse that little section so far. That's 4 riffs. So guys, for the next riff here, it's gonna be a nice one. We have a little upbeat that goes from the to and. So the G bar still on here. So this little repeat shape is really nice. So we have the upbeat and 2 and 3 and no, sorry, 2, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? Then you have this little shape, F sharp and E flat, okay? And then you're gonna roll down onto G and hit the G twice. So C, A, G. Okay, so upbeat 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and there's a break there, and then you go into this repeat shape. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So it's all eighth notes, pretty easy. And also the notes just keep repeating in this, right? So you have F sharp and E flat, and then the third finger on C, second finger on A. You would play that with the bass line. For 4 bars, let's just look at this again. So 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 3, 2. 1 and 5. Roll down on G twice. Okay, we're gonna look at that in detail. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 then on the 1 here, so once you've practiced that a bit, you're gonna move on to the next section. So on the 1 now, you're playing F sharp, E flat, G and E, F sharp, E flat again, F and D, F sharp again, G and E, F sharp and E flat, F and D. And then you would finish off with the same little thing. Okay? So, looks like this. rhythmically, there's some variations you can do. That's in triplets, which might be a little hard, so we're actually going to choose something like a mix of quarter and eighth notes. And easy, right? So you're gonna just go on, when you're going on G left hand, you're gonna go one time and then again. Dun, 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 dun. Okay? So you're coming from same little fill-in roll. Okay, so the whole riff goes like this. So one of those is on C, and then the second one is on the G. Right? Great job. That is probably the hardest riff here, by the way. So we're going to look at that one more time in context. So you're coming from the trill. Very nice. So just practice that section with the help of the video here, and yeah, we're just gonna play the whole thing now. Just the right hand, right? Because next lesson we're combining everything nicely together with the left hand in the solo section, because that would be too much for one video. So we're starting with this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 Started earlier. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Nice. That's that. Now, this is where we get into the other half of the solo, which is what we're actually going to look at in the next lesson. Okay, so next lesson we're looking at the next half of the solo, and then we're also looking at combining the solo with the left hand. All right, which is going to be super simply illustrated for you, so that you can just follow. I'm going to go very slow and just play the whole solo that you've practiced here solo over that bass line. All right, so take some time to just ingrain this. We're going to play it through maybe 2 or 3 more times, very slow, in the correct rhythm. And remember, the rhythm here is pretty important, but sometimes if you miss a beat or start a beat later, happens to me too, it's not that big of a deal in boogie woogie, right? Because you can just leave one note out or add one more, but just try to follow exactly how I'm playing it. And we're just going to do that. So we're going to play through this, starting with this little section here. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 4. Wow. So now you have that little part there, my friend, to just rewind, check the rhythm, the correctness, and once you're at a good level, you should keep the video running and play it with me so that you can hear if what you're playing is correct, right? If it matches up what I'm doing, also rhythmically, and just rewatch it to also check my fingering, or go back to the individual riffs. I mean, we looked at 5 riffs here, so you can check them out individually each as well if you're struggling with some of them. And just take your time with these, because that's already the first half of the solo. That's amazing. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. And you're doing great, by the way. You're doing really good, because this solo piece, the solo part in Swanee River Boogie is the hardest part, but you can do this. Just keep practicing that part. Rewind that section right there, okay? So that you can just look at that over and over. And yeah, then we're gonna just recap what we did. So we looked at the second part of the melody, so the last 16 bars in the beginning after the intro. So that's the second part of that melody. And then we looked at a break with a run. That's super important, that we're also going to use, by the way, later on in the solo, because we have another break with a run in the second half. And then we looked at the first half of the solo, right? And we did that just with the right hand first, because next we're going to just look at the second half and then playing the whole solo and then combining the solo, and then we're going to look at the ending of Swanee River Boogie. And I'm also going to show you where and how you can improvise your own little solo, an extension of the Swanee River Boogie solo in there as well, right, in the next lesson. So stay tuned for that, and definitely don't hesitate to join my program if you want access to all of these courses, because over there I have also many more for Swanee River that teach the other riffs, the other licks, because you know this is the Swanee River version that is a little shortened to keep it concise for YouTube here. But any other songs and stuff, you know, because usually I don't release these courses right to YouTube, but rather I have them in my program. So of course, they take a lot of time and effort to create on my end. But yeah, if you want more of this stuff, then do check out my program, and yeah, I'll be happy to see you there. And stay tuned for the third and final one of this Swanee River Boogie masterclass, this course where we're learning it, and just keep the end goal in mind. Imagine you, a confident version of you, rocking out this song for your friends, for your family, on the public piano, or just for yourself, like in your living room. Imagine yourself having so much fun with it once you can play this really well, right? And you're gonna get there. So happy practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson. And let me know in the comments as well what you thought of this one. Take care.